Coming up on Mountain News this morning, most of us try to avoid ticks. We'll talk with someone who actually collects them, and we'll tell you why. And we talk with one Magoffin County native working in the epicenter of the COVID-19 pandemic here in the U.S. about that experience.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Lacey Roberts. Thank you for joining me on Mountain News this morning. Today is Wednesday, May 27th, or like we call it, Hump Day. And that Hump Day is bringing back those temperatures that we've seen for the past couple of days, along with that humidity. Let's bring in Brandon Robinson. I know that we like this warmer weather, but all things that come with it, you just got to take it.
Take it in stride, Lacey, and good morning to you. And we're going to continue to see some clouds that we've not seen at least as much of the last few days in the morning hours. We're seeing those outside the WYMT studios right now, but there is a sliver of light there at the bottom of the screen, so hopefully we'll see some sunshine try to peek through today, but definitely more clouds on this Wednesday than a lot of days we've seen the last few. We take a look at our temperatures: 63 Wise, 70 Jackson and Logan, 68 in Moorhead and Pikeville, 69 in Prestonsburg, a pair of 67 Harlan and London. So kind of a mild morning across the region. Out the door forecast, we are going to see those rain chances back and forth throughout the day. Better chances though, of course, like always, come in the afternoon hours and right around 80 for a daytime high. Some spots could get just a touch warmer if you're lucky. Lacey.
Thank you, Brandon. Cleanup in the Lots Creek community of Knott County has been ongoing for days after flash flooding tore through the area. A stream sitting along the Knott and Perry County border rose several feet in just minutes, taking out homes, bridges, and cars. Debris is scattered around the area as crews continue to work to try and clean up. Many lost thousands of dollars in property. Others lost cars and homes. Margaret Grisby's home of 40 years was washed away.
We lost everything we had except the clothes and shoes on her feet. His sister lived with us and she just happened not to be there. And she lost everything too.
To help or donate, you can call the Lots Creek Fire Department at 606-438-3001. No one was seriously injured in the flash flooding. And a road collapsed with a car on top of it this past weekend on State Highway 267 in Perry County. The road has been closed for about a month. Someone driving a Mazda CX-30 drove on the closed road, which gave way, flipping the car upside down. H.B. Elkins with the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet says if a road is closed, turn around. Do not try to drive on it.
People should not drive past a road closed sign. It is illegal. If somebody drives past a road closed sign. And it's also common sense. It's a matter of life and death. If the road is closed, it's closed for a reason, because it's unsafe.
Elkins says they do not know the condition of the driver of the car. And ticks are not something that we want to see, and they can not only be irritating but dangerous as well. Most of us try to avoid ticks at all costs, but University of Kentucky graduate research assistant Anna Paxerkin is seeking them out. Pastor Nat collects ticks and gets ticks sent to her by veterinarians and county extension agents all across the state.
We are able to understand what species of tick are here and what kind of pathogens they're carrying so that we can know what diseases are Kentuckians at risk for when they go outside, when they go riding their horses or walking their dogs in the woods.
Experts say this could be a bad year for ticks, so if you do venture outside, especially into the woods, make sure to wear an insect repellent to decrease your chance of contracting a tick-borne illness. And more tourism locations are beginning to reopen after they were forced to close. In Harlan County, Portal 31 is back open as of this weekend. They are limiting the number of people who can go on the tour at a time to 10, as well as wiping everything down after every tour. All of this is in an effort to get people going back through one of Eastern Kentucky's popular attractions.
We're conducting tours every hour now instead of every 45 minutes. That gives us plenty of time between tours to spray everything down, sanitize everything, And it also allows people just that little bit extra time to get on or off the tour, so that they can keep that safe 6 feet distance in between them.
They are not requiring masks, but ask that people do wear them. And just across the street from Portal 31 is Lamp House Coffee. They are back open to customers in the store for the first time since restaurants were forced to make changes. Managing directors Eric and Sissy Rutherford say the most difficult part of the forced changes was laying off their staff. But now they hope they can start ramping things back up and welcoming their normal customers and workers back.
Financially, it hasn't been super stressful. Like I say, we're part of a ministry. We did receive a grant from University of Kentucky, which was very helpful. Other than having to lay people off, which again is opposed to kind of our whole purpose of being here, that wasn't any fun. But again, being a ministry, our faith is in God, so we're just kind of trying to roll with it and do the best we can to stay open for the community.
Lamp House's new hours are Tuesday through Saturday from 8 to 3. They plan to keep those in place as long as they need to, depending on demand. And as the number of cases of COVID-19 increase in some parts of the nation, in New York, once the epicenter of the virus, they are now experiencing all-time lows in case and death numbers. One Magoffin County native is in Manhattan on those front lines, and I talked with him about that experience. As a first-year internal medicine resident at Mount Sinai Beth Israel Hospital,
I think we were all terrified.
Magoffin County native Heath Ward never expected to be at the center of the fight against COVID-19.
It went from kind of life, how we knew it, in the residency program, to kind of being turned upside down.
As New York City quickly became the epicenter, his rotations were canceled.
At the beginning of March, still nobody was wearing masks in New York. No one was, even in the hospital.
Things quickly took a turn. He found himself on the front lines working under the supervision of emergency room doctors.
Countless times where I saw patients of all ages come into the emergency room and they couldn't breathe.
As the days passed, personal protective gear dwindled.
Anxiety was, I think, at an all-time high because we didn't know if it was going to be us that was going to be laying in that hospital bed.
And like many of his colleagues,
I actually have antibodies to the coronavirus.
Now, past the peak,
COVID deaths being at an all-time low,
they have time to reflect.
I've noticed a lot more people in Central Park, a lot more people outside of restaurants getting takeout.
As parts of New York City and nation come back alive. Lacey Roberts, WYMT Mountain News. Ward says that right now there are around 300 COVID-19 patients in the entire Mount Sinai hospital system, and only 100 of those are in the ICU. At the height of the pandemic, there were just under 2,000 patients that were hospitalized.
It's time now for our daily Helpers and Heroes segment and acknowledging people like Heath there across our region this morning. We take a look and see who we've got today. We start with our first picture. This one comes from Ruby. This is her daughter, Ashley Palmer. Ashley is a certified clinical medical assistant at Baptist Health in Corbin and a medication care assistant at Christian Care Communities. Ruby says her daughter puts others above herself and that she is very proud of her. Our next picture was submitted by Ronnie. This is his wife, Nell Bedwell. Nell is a nurse manager at RH Psych Center. She's in charge of a team of 80 employees and always does what it takes to make sure her folks stay safe. Thank you, Nell, for your compassion and dedication. And finally, today, our last picture comes to us from Shauna. This is Wesley Chaffins. He is a lineman for 5 Star Energy and is from Melvin over in Floyd County. He is definitely an essential worker with all of the weather events that's caused power outages in the last few months. Thank you, Wesley, for helping make sure our lights stay on now and always. And of course, we are still taking submissions for this segment. Frontline heroes, it doesn't mean just healthcare workers. It can be, like you just saw, linemen. It could be grocery store workers. It could be people who work at box stores, big box stores like Walmart. So again, keep those submissions coming. You can go on over to WYMT.com and do that. Just search for the Helpers and Heroes tab. Send them to me on Facebook, Brandon Robinson WYMT, or you can also put them right there, right below the radar on the homepage. Just click the Add Media button when you see the Helpers and Heroes icon. Lacey.
Thank you, Brandon, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. We'll be right back with some of today's top stories.